Hi guys, my name is Nathan Simmons. I'm with Colonial Life out of Longview, and we're letting you watch this video because we're going to be setting you guys up with some benefits on Monday morning, some voluntary supplemental benefits. Now, not sure if you guys know how that works. What basically happens is if something were to happen to you or your family, we put money back into your pocket in the event that something happens for your money for your family to be able to use. It's not something that goes to the doctor, doesn't go to the hospital. It's money we put in your pocket, discretionary spending. You use it how you want to. Okay. Now, one thing I want to make sure that each one of you guys do is thank Rick and Melanie for allowing us to come out because they saw the value in making it available to you, and that's a huge thank you on their part for allowing it to be made available to you. So make sure you guys do that, whether or not you do anything with us or not. Now, I know everybody's got their own medical insurance, okay, but that's exactly why we're coming out. Is just last year, the leading cause of bankruptcies was due to medical bills. And what's crazy is of those people that filed, 78% of them had health insurance, which tells me one thing, health insurance is not the end-all be-all that we think it is. Now, part of that problem is, some people just go out and get something just to say they have it, but they don't really know what they have. And that's where we come in, because health insurance is like a block of Swiss cheese. There's a ton of holes in it, and we're there to help you fill those holes. Okay, now, let's say you have great health insurance, $0 deductible, which we know doesn't exist anymore. It would be great if it does, but it doesn't. Now, so $0 deductible, and let's say something happens to you. Okay, so now you don't owe anything to the doctor or the hospital. That's great, but let's say you're sitting at the house for 2.5 months because of whatever happened to you. Okay, well, would you guys agree that 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? Well, absolutely. So now that same person that's got great health insurance is still up a creek for their families just from sitting at the house just for 2 months. And that's the first thing you're going to be able to look at is protecting your paycheck. Okay, the biggest asset you have is your paycheck. Okay, a lot of people think it's their house. Well, you have to get a paycheck first to be able to pay for that house. Well, and so I know because if I didn't have my check rolling in, my wife and I, we would struggle. And that's the first thing you're going to be able to look at is protecting your paycheck. Now, I know as Americans, we're overinsured. We have insurance on our house, car, TV, cell phone, and everything. But to put it in perspective, the chances of something ever happening to your house and having to use homeowners insurance, which we're required to have, is less than 1%. The chances of you being out of work for any reason in your working life, whether it be a disability or an illness or even a pregnancy and having to take maternity leave, is 1 in 3. And so we're going to show you where you can protect your paycheck at less than an hour's wage a week. Okay, now I'll basically put it like this. If each one of you have a toaster at your house that, would pop up $2,000 a month, would you insure the toaster? I'm going to show you how to do the same thing with a paycheck. Okay, so now on top of that, you'll be able to look at some survivor benefits through life insurance. About 61% of Americans say they don't have any life insurance at all, or they say if they do have something, when I meet with people, they say they don't feel like they have enough to sustain their family's lives for 2 or 3 months after a passing, much less put somebody in the ground. Now, the main reason I hear why people don't have anything is because they don't know where to get it. And which is crazy to me because that feels like it's every other TV commercial. But part of that problem is you kind of don't know where to begin if you don't have anything. And also, you might have a CEO at some company that maybe wants a $1 million life policy. Well, there's people lined up at the door to go see him compared to somebody that maybe just wants $15,000, $20,000 just to cover burial expenses. Okay, so now everything we're doing is voluntary. If you want to do something, great. If you don't, that's fine. But let me recommend 2 things to you. If each of you care about your family at all, look at short-term disability to protect your paycheck, and look at $15,000 to $20,000 of life insurance if you don't already have something, so you at least cover burial costs for your family. So it's not an emotional and a financial burden if something were to ever happen. Now, on top of that, where the holes in the medical insurance come in are some catastrophic illness type stuff. I like talking about the big 3, cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Cancer means a lot to me because my wife's had a scare. And, the minimum cost of cancer today is about $25,000 to $30,000. And that's if you have great health insurance. Because what most people don't realize is 2/3 of cancer-related costs are not covered by health insurance. It's part of the reason why health insurance does not pay for a whole lot is because it feels like people are getting it left and right. 1 in every 2 men will be diagnosed, and 1 in every 3 women will be diagnosed. I would venture to say each one of you that are watching this video probably know somebody who either currently has it or who's had it recently. And so I don't have to tell you how financially and emotionally draining of a disease it is. Now, on top of that, it's all how things are coded. A lot of treatments for cancer are considered experimental, which are not picked up by health insurance, but cancer policies do pick them up. Now, on top of that, just from a personal scenario, you have to take into account travel and lodging and everything like that. Because my wife and I, we actually looked at going to MD Anderson in Houston. And you're down there for weeks when that happens. Those are all things that health insurance does not help pay for, but cancer policies do. Now, as far as stroke and heart attack goes, that's going to depend on family history. But someone has a heart attack every 34 seconds in the United States, and stroke's the leading cause of disability in the United States. And the average cost of a stroke is about $20,000 to $25,000, and the average cost of a heart attack out of pocket is $38,000. And I know I don't have that sitting around waiting to use, and so that's what we're there to do, is help you out with that. Now, everything else, as far as we'll have an accident policy for you to be able to look at as well. I recommend you looking at that, just because that's our most used policy, because 99 times out of 100, when you do go to the hospital or doctor unexpectedly, it's due to an accident, and you're still having to pay out of pocket for that. And also, if you have kids that are still in school and maybe play sports, I would recommend looking at that, because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when. And now on top of that, we'll also have a policy that you can look at that's designed to offset a medical deductible. So let's say your deductible is $3,000. I know most people don't have that sitting around waiting to use. And that's what that policy is designed to do, is offset your medical deductible and help you get to your deductible in case you need to really, really quickly. Okay, now everything we're doing, again, it's voluntary. If you want to do something, great. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. But we're going to be seeing you guys one-on-one on Monday morning to where you can be able to make your decisions. Now, Melanie should have been able to pass out some packets of information out to each one of y'all that have our product information along with some sample rate sheets. So you'll be able to take those home to your families and discuss that with your families about what you might want to do, and so you can have some questions asked whenever we come out and see you guys on Monday morning. Now, like I said, we'll see you all one-on-one. If you're interested, great. If you're not, that's perfectly fine. But we do have to see you. If you're not interested, we'll just log you in, log you out, and then you're on your way. Now, if you do have any questions, feel free to contact us. Melanie has my contact information. But if you don't have any questions, we will see you guys on Monday morning. And make sure you thank Rick and Melanie again for allowing us to come out.